proud to welcome the Sage of Mount Holly in here today. Isn't that what they call you?
I don't know. They call me a lot of things. That's a little more complimentary than most.
Yeah. David Childers and his band are in here today. We ready for a song, David?
Yeah, we're ready. We're going to do one called Camp Ladder Shuffle. Y'all ready, boys?
Yeah.
David Childers and the Serpents here live in Studio B. That song will get you out on the dance floor. Camp Ladder Shuffle. That's one of the songs I featured earlier this week.
Oh, thank you, man.
New tunes at 2 for your new record, Interstate Lullaby. And David's out supporting that album. And great new record, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. We'll talk more about that. I thought maybe if you want to, you can introduce these players here that are with you today.
Well, I'll start over here on the left as you people on the radio can't see him.
On the right.
Corey Dudley on the stand-up bass today. He plays electric and stand-up. Robert Childers behind me on drums. We got him in a cage today. Dale Shoemaker playing the electrical guitar. He's over on my right. He's from Gastonia. And Jeff White's on the fiddle.
All right. Welcome, fellas. Sounding good so far. We're glad to have you here in Studio B. I called you the Sage of Mount Holly. I picked that up somewhere, but that is a nickname somebody laid on you.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the making of this record. What was some of the inspiration on that? Some songs you had, some new stuff you've been writing?
Well, we play a lot. We play a lot of like brewery gigs, bars and stuff, some festivals and the parties. And so about half of these songs we'd probably developed over the last couple of years. But there were a couple that, developed as we were recording. And, the basic model of the song was there, and we refined them in the recording process, which was a very interesting thing because we went in, we played everything all at the same time, straight to tape. We did, multiple cuts. It wasn't like anything outrageous because we pretty well knew the songs.
But no overdubs.
That's right.
No overdubs.
No overdubs, yeah.
That's a term that goes more with tape, it seems, but I guess we do it as well with the digital stuff. But you went to actual tape. We say we taped something, some of us older guys, we mean we recorded it, but maybe we didn't. But you actually used tape.
Yeah, that was Dolph Ramsor. He produced this, and he was a sound engineer. And we did it in his house. He had these two huge microphones from Sweden. I think there's only like 4 of them in the world, something like that. But, they got the sound you hear there. And he took it up to Chapel Hill and worked with a sound man up there named Jason Richmond. I believe that's his name. And they mastered it and EQ'd it and everything, brought out maybe some of the warmth that was there.
I thought it was interesting that you put notes about that on the record cover because, some of that stuff, I've been broadcasting a long time, but some of the detail of your recording process, now Sean would know what the heck you're talking about.
Well,
but
I don't know what it is either. I believe that's Dolph Ramsor writing that stuff.
Now, Dolph has been a friend of yours for a lot of years, right? And
Yeah,
been
it has been.
Fan and supporter, too.
Probably going on 20 years or so now.
Seemed like I read somewhere where he talked about that he was on board with you after seeing you at the Double Door in Charlotte years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
Yeah, missed that place.
Yeah, it's been gone a good while.
Yeah. Well,
there's plenty of other places down there, though. I mean, there's good music venues there, like Snug Harbor and the Evening Muse.
Yep.
And there's places you can. Also, the breweries have a very active music scene. Little place down there called Petra's is real good, too.
Heard of that? Sure. And this weekend, you guys are down in Greer.
Well, I'm there with Kyle Petty.
You're there with Kyle?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not.
right.
These guys aren't going. The last time I played Skunk Festival, these guys went with me, and we had a blast. But I've been doing shows with Kyle off and on over the last couple of years, and that's just how it wound up this time.
Right. So tomorrow, you said you're going to play somewhere around 4 in the afternoon?
Yeah, it's at the Spinning Jenny. That's where they're doing it in Greer, South Carolina.
Yep, the winter.
It's kind of off the downtown area.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very nice place.
Yeah, Spinning Jenny's cool. Winter Skunk Fest. David Childers, you guys want to do another song now?
Yeah, we're going to do, we actually kind of talked and planned. What was we going to do in the streets of Nashville?
Yep.
Okay. I wrote this song for a musical that's never been produced, but it was It should be. It started out as a woman singing it, but since there's no women in here to sing it except Vicky, and I hadn't rehearsed it with her, I'm gonna do it.
Live here in Studio B, David Childers. Streets of Nashville is on the new record, Interstate Lullaby. You mentioned writing, and folks know you're a songwriter, but they may not know you write other things too. You've got a couple of published books of poetry, do you not?
Well, I used to, yeah. The first thing like a record or a book was a book, and that was in 1977. And then later on, there was a book of poems I did when I was in graduate school, and a guy out in San Francisco printed it. And then in 1992 or 3, I had this long poem. It's like a chap book, a cheap book printed. It's called The Monster. And those are way out of print. I don't really. I mean, I did. I have a poem on this record, but I very, very seldom write poetry anymore or fiction. I decided a long time ago to put it in songwriting.
Yeah, that's something you obviously do well. You talked about writing memoirs. Is that something you still might do?
I doubt it. It's not that much to write about.
Well, you've had quite a life.
I've lived in interesting times, but I've made sure it was pretty boring so I could, stay alive.
Right. Well, you quit practicing law to do music. I got to admire that.
Well, I was doing both, and I kind of got run out of the law by politics and circumstances. But I was praying that I might be able to do music on a full-time basis, and I've learned over the years that prayers can be answered.
Yeah, well.
So that's where I am now, and I'm not rich, but sure am having a great time, and I'm very grateful that I get to make music as much as I do.
Well,
got a great bunch of people around me.
We're grateful that you do make it because we sure love it here. I can tell you that right now, and a lot of listeners do too, and I know other musicians in this region who just have the utmost respect for you and love the music. You've played a couple of my favorites off this new record. Seems like y'all are playing, I like them all, but the ones I especially like. Okay. So far, y'all are 100% on that one there. Winter Skunk coming up tomorrow. You're going to be playing there. Any other dates you might want to mention coming up here in the near future folks can see you?
God, I just draw a blank on that. And I know we got shows, but
maybe they ought to hit a website or a Facebook page then.
We got a show again, more of a rock and roll show in Charlotte at Snug Harbor with the Shack Shakers, and who else is on that? Huh?
Slim Cessna's Auto Club.
Okay, and they're gonna have cars on display. Or,
no. Oh, darn.
That's March 25th, I think.
24th. It's
24th.
Okay.
But go to davidchilders.com, and it's pretty accurate schedule.
Pretty up to date there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like me. I wouldn't be able to remember either.
Yeah, I kind of look on Sunday and see what I got to do. And then
take Sundays off, huh?
Not that often. Monday and Tuesday are my biggest days off.
Well, all right. David Childers here in Studio B. Interstate Lullaby is the new record. Can we get another song?
Yeah, what was we going to do here?
Key in her pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Let me count down.
I'll send this out to Penn Dameron out there. He probably know where this song came from. It's called Key in Her Pocket.
I wanted to go, aye, after that, man. And David Childers here in Studio B. And the guys, I think y'all had as much fun with that song as we did listening to it. Key in Her Pocket is off the Interstate Lullaby new CD. That's a great tune. And thanks for mentioning our pal Penn Dameron. He's a great friend to this station. You known him a long time?
Penn used to play bass with us when we had a band called the Modern Don Juans, or maybe it just had my name. But
I think it was before that.
It was before that.
Plays some banjo.
He's also a hell of a banjo player.
Yep.
And a great guy. I call him an American aristocrat because he's just a quality human being. And I'm not just saying that because his lovely wife, Vicky, is here, but I really mean that. So, Penn, we love you, and we hope you're still making music out there, buddy.
I would bet on it. And, we feel the same way about Penn, so thanks for saying those things. And like you said, even if Vicky wasn't sitting here, that's what everybody that ever talks about Penn to me always says about the same thing as you just did. So we love it. Good. I was watching your son back there. He's a chip off the old block, I believe. Are you just a drummer, or do you play other stuff, Robert?
Oh, I beat on a lot of stuff and holler and whatnot, but yeah.
How do you like?
Guitars too, I think.
Yeah, well, I figured that. How do you like that drum kit?
This is really nice. Nicest one y'all have had. It's making me want to upgrade.
Oh, really? Well, all right.
It's great. Yeah, thank y'all.
Robert Childers back there on the skins, as they say.
You sound good back there, Rob.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
agreed on that. Now, on this record, it said the new record was recorded at Dolph's living room.
That's right.
In the living room.
That's right.
Okay, that's not just like a euphemism for a
No,
home studio.
That's what.
All right, well, that's pretty cool. And y'all,
It was a really beautiful thing. I mean, we were going in and out there for about a year and a half, doing a lot of different stuff, and also a guy named David Niblock and Morgan Gear. Morgan's from Asheville, Davis from Winston-Salem. They came down and played.
mm-hmm.
A lady named Teresa Abernathy came and helped on some stuff, and but it was like, yeah, we're in a living room, and we're using a couch for a baffle, and it was all about positioning the players around the microphones.
Right.
All I had to do was sit down in front, so I had the easy part.
You know, this I hear about that happening quite a bit. Buddy and Julie Miller's last record was done in one of the rooms of their house. It's that recording has become a lot more common now, and I guess with the technology and our knowledge about stuff, a lot of that household recording actually goes to record now.
Yeah, that's been going on a while. I did a record back in like 2000 on a 4-track cassette recorder, and we put it out. And Robert helped me with that, and I think it charted on Americana radio.
I'm not
Then
surprised.
they found out what a fraud I was, and they threw me out or something.
Oh, fraud. Well, this this record here, super great, and I think for me at least, as a David Childers fan, it captures your sound very well. And
Yeah, it's a sort of purity about it that I like, and I hate recording. These other guys, I think they enjoy the studio more than I do. But this was more or less just like going to somebody's home and making music. So I think that's where a lot of
kind of like
energy
going
came.
and playing for them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Because you're a live guy. You like to play it live, don't
Yeah.
you? Yeah. Well, let's see. I hate to impose, but can we get one more song?
Well, let's see here now. How many people are listening out there? We're going to do one more.
Well, it's my
Twilight
show.
Road.
It's my show, so it's at least 5 or 6 people. So there you go.
This is one called Twilight Road.
Ha ha. David Childers and the Serpents live, Interstate Lullaby, the new record, and that's another tune off of it. Man, that's a lot of cool, just grab you songs on that record, I think.
I appreciate you listening to it. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, we like it here.
You never know.
I was reading, and I know, us radio hosts, we always read stuff. We want to read your bio, and we want to, whatever. But what I'm always interested in
It's
is
okay to be intelligent, okay?
yeah, read more, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Yeah. Your approach to your songwriting, and I'm sure you get tired of getting asked stuff like that. But I was reading some of what you've said in the past about it, and I remember you cited Poncho and Lefty, the way that song was written and all. That's kind of a way that's agreeable to you in your approach to songwriting.
Well, it's real concise. I mean, it's a brilliant piece of writing of poetry because it has 4 stanzas. It has a chorus, but there's so much told in each one of those stanzas. I mean, it paints this big picture, of the West, kind of like a Sam Peckinpah movie. I mean, Hotel California does that too. I'm not particularly crazy about that song, but just you got only a certain amount of space, and Poncho and Lefty really does it. To me, that's a perfect song.
Gets down to the story without too much, flying off the left or right side of the road there with a bunch of flowery stuff.
I don't even think it has a bridge or anything in it, but it still has that heart tug,
Right. It gets to the point and tells the story, and that's what a lot of us have always felt about your song. So that's why I wanted to ask you about it and see how you felt.
Well, I'm glad you noticed that. I try to make every word count. It's kind of hard to do sometimes.
And sometimes it's easy, I guess, for some folks to get going and just say too much, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Sometime.
Yeah. I've done that myself.
Caught
I
yourself.
got songs I won't even play because they're just too damn long. I get bored with them. You know,
Oh, wow. Interstate Lullaby. Can I ask for one more song? I mean,
Are you serious?
We're loving this
well,
music.
yeah, I'm happy to. I don't want
Do Edge of Town.
to. Okay. This
We
is
got a request from the back there. Live in Studio B here with David Childers and the Serpents. Very poignant tune. And a lot of times you expect a song to touch you somehow or take you somewhere. That one did it for me. And I'm not just a guy on nostalgia, but, you know, I think a lot of folks, especially if they grew up in a smaller town.
You know that place.
That's right. Exactly.
That's why it affects you.
Yeah, yeah. Another one we featured on New Tunes at 2 earlier this week. It just was a really cool song. Do you have any favored subjects, things that come to you more often or that you prefer to write about? Is there?
No, I just leave myself open. I've just gotten through yesterday. I spent yesterday, the last couple of days, writing a bunch of new songs, and I'm not really sure what I have at this point, but I just leave myself open because it's kind of like digging for a treasure. You dig and you dig, and then after suddenly you hit something, and that's kind of what happened to me over the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
So I just leave myself open to anything, history, you know, emotion, relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Don't write much about politics. There's not much point in it. It's hard to be right.
And there's already plenty of that going on. isn't
Yeah,
there?
but there's other ways, you know, that I think things filter in.
Yeah. Well, that last song, Edge of Town, man, it took me right to the town I grew up in. And that's probably what you were going after
Where
right
was
there.
that?
It was up in Virginia, a little town called Chester,
Oh, yeah.
Virginia, in Chesterfield County. Yeah, outside of Richmond. And, of course, as time goes on, just like it's happened around here, too, becomes a part of suburban Richmond.
That's right. That's why Mount Holly was.
That's what I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
because that's, I'm sure. I haven't been to Mount Holly in a long time. Is it stretching out towards Charlotte?
I don't know. I kind of stay in my house and just drive through and go other places.
Well,
You know, Thomas Wolfe said you can't go home again. But I have a real nice house and a very nice life there. So.
right. Well, you talked about being rich. Well, you know, being rich ain't just about money.
Yeah, that's right.
I just said ain't. How about that?
That's all right.
Not even on the Bluegrass Show. Thanks, Robert.
But at least you didn't curse.
Right.
And we didn't either. Well, good job, lads. Good job.
All right, so it's davidchilders.com. That's your website?
That's right.
All right. And I know you do have a Facebook page also.
That's right. I'm not sure. Just look David Childers up on the line. There's several of them, but mine will have some kind of weird picture for an ID. I put a lot of my paintings up there.
Interstate Lullaby is a new record, and David will be at Winter Skunk Fest tomorrow at the Spinning Jenny in Greer, South Carolina.
Right on.
That's what we're hoping for. Hope it didn't wash away yesterday. Hadn't heard anything about
I'm
it.
going to go check on that.
Yeah, I think we probably would have heard something about it.
I
if they
think
had.
so,
I
yeah.
think they're probably on go for tomorrow.
Because it's a beautiful day out there today.
David, guys, thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you. Oh, thank you for having us.
Always a pleasure, and I was glad finally, all the other hosts have gotten in to interview you here on the station, and this is my first time, and man, I tell you, it was cool.
Well, let's do it again.
Let's do it again, absolutely.
All right.
Live Studio B sessions on WNCW are made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company.